The film Weapons is much more than just a psychological horror. It's a reminder that we are scared of losing control of ourselves more than anything in the world. I've spent the last few days trying to shake the feeling that Weapons left in my brain. Most of the conversations online are treating it like a narrative Rubik's Cube, something to be solved, or structural experiment in the vein of Magnolia. But I think if we focus too much on the how of the plot and we miss the why of the horror, we're missing a huge part of the artful masterpiece this film is. I'm a filmmaker and I'm always seeking the truth in why certain images stick to the back of our eyelids. For me, this film isn't a puzzle, it's an autopsy. It explores a very specific, very modern fear, the total mind violation. This is what happens when psychological dread isn't just a mood, but a precursor to brutal physical rupture. It's the moment the mind stops being a sanctuary and starts being a cage where our fears take over our senses. In most horror, your body is the prize. The slasher wants to cut it into little pieces. The monster wants to eat it or use it to feed its dark lacking soul. But your mind is still you. You're still in there, fighting back, trying to survive the nightmare. But in this film, the scariest type of horror is used perfectly. The kind that Weapons utilizes is when the mind is the first thing to go. I call it the meat puppet theory. When we see a character in this film perform an act of horrific violence on themselves or someone they love, it isn't gore for the sake of a thrill. It is physical evidence that their soul has been evicted. It reminds me so much of the predatory architecture in the Omen saga. Think about the nanny at the birthday party. She isn't screaming, she isn't crying for help, she is smiling, she has been activated, taken hostage by the devil. Or when Damian savagely murders his half-brother when they're both out in the woods with the look in his eyes. I don't know about you, but every time I see a crow, it reminds me of the scary soundtrack with the Gregorian chants that traumatized part of my childhood. The rapture of the body is the scariest type of body horror, in my opinion. In Weapons, the gore is the punctuation at the end of the psychological sentence. If a character stabs themselves with a fork in the face without blinking, the horror isn't the sharpness of the fork, it's the fact that their own hand did it, without remorse. The mind has become a traitor. When you pair that level of psychological hijacking with the kind of wet visceral gore, you create a total violation of the mind. You realize that there is no safe place, not even inside your own head. And nobody who is in reach is safe, not even if they are a loved one. We have to talk about the setting. Maybrook isn't just a town where bad things happen. It's an organism that is rotten from the center out. This feels like a direct evolution of the atmosphere in 1979 Salem's Lot. In Salem's Lot, the vampires didn't just invade, they moved back home. They reclaimed the town, house by house, until the community was just a collection of hollowed out predators. Weapons does something even more chilling with its ensemble. It suggests a community contagion. The story is told from various characters' perspectives that aids the development of the story greatly. The children in this film aren't just victims to be saved, they are the primary conduits. Much like Damian Thorne, their innocence is the mask that allows the rot to spread. When you see these activated kids, they aren't monsters, they are mirrors. They reflect the hidden sins of the parents back at them with lethal force. The horror here is the realization that the domestic space, the kitchen where you eat breakfast, the school where you learn, has been fundamentally poisoned. The gore is just the fever finally breaking through the skin of a polite society, a fake stability that has been poisoned by an outsider with dark tools and a ruthless temperament. I've heard people call the witch or the force in this film a confusing plot point, but I don't think it's a character, I think it's a personification. It could be even seen as a metaphor. I've been seeking the truth behind the Black Sludge and I think I found it. It's the physical weight of things left unsaid. It's the suffocating silence of abuse and inherited trauma. In Weapons, the Force doesn't just kill you, it uses your history against you. It aids the witch to heal, but it also gives her the power to destroy what you most love at the twitch of her fingers. This is the anti-mystery. You don't solve this movie because you can't solve grief or trauma. You can only survive it or be consumed by it. The violence in this film isn't a filler, It's the only way the truth can finally scream in a town that has been quiet for too long. It's the moment the psychological weight becomes so heavy that the physical world literally snaps. When we see that final brutal outcome, it isn't a twist, it's a reckoning. It's the realization that the most dangerous weapon in the world isn't a gun or a knife. It's the secret you kept to protect your family. It's your darkest thoughts all compressed into one speedy gut-wrenching act of violence set off as a kamikaze human puppet that will not stop until it has accomplished its final mission. I'm not interested in making a video that explains the plot. I want to understand why we can't look away. It's because weapons tells us that the monster isn't in the woods. It's in the chair next to you. It's in the eyes of your child. It's in the reflection you see when you brush your teeth. The pairing of psychological ruin and brutal gore is the scariest type of horror because it leaves you with nowhere to hide. You can't run from your mind and you can't survive the rupture of your body. It's a total absolute violation of your mind. And that, I think, is the truth of it. In essence, the loss of self-control is the end of our humanity. So what do you think about weapons? Did you enjoy the twists and turns? Are you a fan of the classic horror films I mentioned? Have you heard about them before? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll answer all your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button without breaking your keyboard, of course. And subscribe to the channel, hitting the bell icon. That way you can know when I release a new video every Friday about cinema, thinking and culture. You can also go and watch this video here where I talk about a series called The Night of the Seven Kingdoms and how it can teach us how to make more story with less characters. And that is a wrap for this one, but I will see you on the next one.